have entered the Chronic's rabbit hole, and Matt, thank you so much for your Patreon membership request. You are bringing us back Rammstein, and the song is Spieluhr, live at the Mutter Tour 2001.
Thank you so much, Matt. I'm really looking forward to this. Rammstein! Thank you so much, Matt, for bringing Rammstein back down the rabbit hole. I did take a look at the lyrics of this because there are no English subtitles, and I can see why you said this is a controversial song. I'm really excited to see the German version of this and how Rammstein puts it through. Mm-hmm. I know this is going to be an emotional one, so if you are excited for Rammstein, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know your favorite Rammstein song in the comments below and why it's your favorite. And let's get into this.
And this apparently was from their album Mutter, and it was only performed on the Mutter tour. So this is why this is the only video that we have that the best video for this. And one of the first lyrics that we read was it killing a kid for appearances?
It was a small child dies for the sake of appearances.
So that's a lot to think about while we get into this then.
All right.
Ein kleiner Mensch stirbt nur zum Schein, wollte ganz alleine sein.
He sounds great.
Das kleine Herz stand still für Stunden, so hat man es für tot befunden. Es wird verscharrt im nassen Sand, mit einer Spieluhr in der Hand. Der erste Schnee das Grab bedeckt, hat ganz sanft das Kind geweckt. In einer kalten Winternacht ist das kleine Herz erwacht, ja. Als der Frost ins Kind geflogen, hat es die Spieluhr aufgezogen. Eine Melodie im Wind und aus der Erde singt das Kind. Und ein Engel steigt herab. Nur der Regen weint am Grab.
I just want to pause it there because we did listen to the lyrics, and this is about like a kid in the grave and like with a music box and all that, and that was sounding very echoey, almost like from the grave it was coming out.
Yes, so it's a kid's voice with like a reverb, like so it's like between the two oak planks, the child sang out with the music box raised in his hand.
Yeah,
and so that's like it's. They said that there would be like with the lyrics when we read them, it said choir sings, and so this is what the choir was. It was this backtracking, and it's very heartfelt. It's very direct. It's very directed, and I can see why it's such a controversial song as well, because it can be taken multiple different ways.
100%.
And I'm sure that there are differences between the German and the English translation on meaning.
Right.
Because there are more words in the German language than there are in the English language.
But still, so it's controversial nonetheless. Yeah. And their choruses are so catchy. It almost feels like, are you supposed to be liking this so much? Because I'm smiling and but I know the context.
Yeah. And it's like, I have to say, like, I listened to Du Hast as like a 13-year-old. Like that was like the song in the early 2000s that made it globally. And I had no idea what the song was about, but it was just such a catchy song.
Exactly. You don't even need to know.
It's like, this is amazing. And I get the same kind of feel from this one, being an English speaker who doesn't speak German.
Yes.
Just the tone of it is very catchy. They have like this kind of childish in the back audio in the background. So like not knowing what the lyrics were, I would have been like, oh yeah, this is great. but knowing the English translation, it's like, ooh,
Yeah.
I feel conflicted.
Conflicted is a good word, but that's also why, Matt, you also didn't want to
Yeah.
elaborate too much before we watched this, because you wanted to see us go through this as we figured it out.
Absolutely.
So thank you for that, and let's keep going.
Eine Melodie im Wind und aus der Erde singt das Kind. Der kalte Mond in voller Pracht hört die Schreie in der Nacht und kein Engel steigt herab, nur der Regen weint am Grab. Zwischen harten Eichendielen wird es mit der Spieluhr spielen. Eine Melodie im Wind und aus der Erde singt das Kind. Und kein Engel steigt herab, nur der Regen weint am Grab. Eine Melodie im Wind und aus der Erde singt das Kind. Am Totensonntag hörten sie aus Gottes Acker diese Melodie. Da haben sie es ausgebettet, das kleine Herz im Kind gerettet. Und kein Engel steigt herab, nur der Regen weint am Grab. Eine Melodie im Wind und aus der Erde singt das Kind. Und kein Engel steigt herab, nur der Regen weint am Grab. Eine Melodie im Wind und auf der Erde singt das Kind.
Nice note to leave that on. I thought there was one more coming. Jeez. What's incredible about Rammstein is no matter if it's live or if it's their music videos, there's always so much extra to their performances.
Yeah.
And even when they were talking in the lyrics, there's a time when the snow comes onto the ground. And that's kind of what awakens the kid in the music box and all this stuff. But they even had like kind of that snowy stuff kind of coming out at
That
that
effect,
time, that
yeah.
effect that was going on. So like, but again, it felt like such a happy song as well. And if you don't know what it's saying, like you don't even know what it's singing about. And that's what I think is actually even more powerful about them, is because they're getting some things across that wouldn't get across because their tone doesn't need to always, like, it's so Rammstein is what I
It's
mean.
very Rammstein. It has like that poppy, upbeat feel to it but it still is putting through this solemn message.
Yeah.
So like not knowing German and just having the tone and having the beat and everything like that,
Yeah.
you could tell that this song is about something that's more sad,
Yeah, of
more
course.
melancholy.
Especially with the
but-
keyboard.
Especially with the way with the keyboard and how
Yeah.
it's played out. But it's just got such dirty riffs.
Yeah,
and,
the
like,
riffs are always
such
so catchy and quick.
phenomenal like beats going through,
Yeah.
and the chorus and the way that they kind of had that.
They get you
childish-
jumping.
They get you moving. They get you jumping.
Yeah.
I noticed when they had the childish sound,
Right.
one of the guitar players was actually singing into the mic.
Yeah, I noticed
So
that.
I'm actually wondering maybe it's not a backtrack and they actually just have like an effect on the microphone.
That's what
or
it
a
sounded
voice
like for me.
changer.
Yeah.
And so just what they've put through, and this is from 2001, so this is like 22 years ago.
Yeah.
And
Incredible, eh?
incredible.
Yeah.
And like,
It still sounded great, even
And
though
it
the audio
sounded
wasn't the
great.
best we've seen. It was still good, though.
but it had fantastic audio
Sure did.
too.
Once he started speaking, I'm like, oh, this is going to sound
like,
just as good still.
It still sounds phenomenal. Like I
Yeah.
was able to hear every bit. It didn't sound muddied,
No, not at all.
right? Like
not at all.
It's definitely a handy cam,
Of course.
recording,
what
but
they
it's a
had.
very well done recording.
I
It's
think
a
it gave it
high
justice
quality
still.
handy cam, like
And it totally did. I can see why this is a hidden gem, because I bet once this passed and they didn't perform this live anymore, it's hard to get it in the consciousness of everyone if it's not performing live.
absolutely.
Right? It's sometimes like, I know with Nightwish, The Beauty of the Beast is one of my favorite songs, but they don't perform it now. So I feel
Mm-hmm.
like there's a lot of songs that probably Rammstein has that are like this, where
hidden gems.
that they're hidden gems because they always touch such and like
Absolutely.
touchy subjects, right?
And I think that's why I love Rammstein so
Yeah.
much as a band, is because they're willing to go there.
They are.
Not everyone is willing to go to the places that Rammstein makes such beautiful art about these topics. Like,
Yeah.
the first lyric translated into English is "A child dies for," what was it? Wow, now I forgot it. Appearances.
Yeah, a small human dies just for appearances.
Just for
And
appearances.
like, think how many, like for me, because I'm thinking even back in the day when humans used to sacrifice people
those
for the appearances of trying to be fruitful, and then that's actually what they're talking about, is the fruitness of the ground and all that, right? So like, it was getting pretty dark in that type of way when
It was.
when we're checking out those lyrics. Maybe we'll throw it at the end of the video of us reading the lyrics out. So after, at the end, if you want to see the English rendition of it, at the very end of the video, we'll show you when we're actually reading it, so you can see us go through it. At least you see both sides of it, because I think it's important, because I know we have a lot of English people that are watching us, and I think it's important to know the lyrics as well. At least you have that option.
Absolutely. And I think because like you can react to the music and be like, oh yeah, this is a really great song.
Yeah.
Good riff, guys.
Exactly. And it is. Don't
and
get
it
me
is.
wrong.
But there's so much more to music than just a dirty riff
Yeah.
or a great drum fill.
Totally
or,
right.
the effects that they're putting on stage. Like he had that spoken word part at the very beginning of the
I'm
song.
glad he did
and
the
I'm
intro
pretty
like that.
sure that's the first.
It is. Oh, of course that's the
Of
intro.
course.
Yeah.
And so it's like that spoken word going into it and then coming in with such heavy beats.
Then he's bringing everyone up. It's like, no, we still need
Yeah,
you rocking
we
after I
still
said
need
that.
ya. Like, come on, keep rocking.
Yeah.
Don't get sad on me.
Yeah.
Like, you can't let this affect you because this
Exactly.
happens. Like, you have to
Exactly.
be, like, if you can't talk about it, then what are we doing here?
And they're all
And
about respecting their history and
They
their past.
are,
right?
and that's exactly their history, their past, and their future.
Exactly.
That's what
100%.
Rammstein is like.
All
Hey
about
guys, like
how we moving
this
forward.
is where we were in like the 1600s, the 1500s. This is where we were in our more recent history. This is where we could go in the future if we forget about all of this in the past. We need to get to these points. We need to talk about these things. I don't care if you think it's controversial or you feel conflicted
Yeah.
because it's a really great song with a dirty riff and a catchy
Yeah.
chorus, because it still needs to be discussed, and if this is a way to open that conversation, then so be it.
And we were having this conversation
Yeah.
actually about how like there's perpetrators and there's victims to history, and what the Germans have done very well, at least from our
Yes,
side, is
our standpoint.
they view history as a perpetrator on a lot of things, which allows them to
Yeah.
incorporate what happened and to move forward and not hopefully do it again.
To address the things that have happened, to make sure that the history history isn't repeated.
Which is why I think, like, in the grave with the music box is that remembrance, because on the Sunday of death, that because they also say on the Sunday of death, this is the song that plays.
Absolutely.
So, right, like, you're going to be remembered this even weekly, it sounds like, of really what happened, and that's kind of what we're supposed to be doing moving forward.
Whereas here in North America, we are on the opposition of that, where we're like, oh my God, look at us with a victim, our whole country, our whole history victimized.
I mean,
and then we just can't move forward, can't address, can't express the issues that has happened within our history, where we've been the perpetrators, where we've been the ones causing the pain, where we've been the ones causing the problems. Because the story, the history of what is being told in a viewpoint of what we want to believe of ourselves.
Yeah, 100%. And the history, even in the families, like what we're going through, we have to view back our past and find out what we actually were the perpetrator on or the victim, to fully understand how to move forward and work as a unit.
Put the young child in the grave,
yeah,
proverbially, for appearances.
And like, we're people of faith, and that's technically what happened to Jesus. Is for the appearances to save a nation, we're gonna throw one person out into the grave and then hear its song every Sunday. And that's kind of what's happening. So, like, I think it's actually incredible what they brought out, and it is such an eye-opening song. And Matt, we thank you so much, because all of your requests always gets us thinking like this.
Absolutely.
We love the bands that you brought to our attention. Rammstein is totally up there. We love it. We want more. So definitely let us know what you guys love from this band and what song we should check out next. But we are exiting the rabbit hole now, folks.
Thank you so much for being here with us. And thank you, Matt, for bringing this back down the rabbit hole and bringing us another song that's so thought-provoking.
Yeah.
Peace and love, everyone.
God bless you.
Take care, and bye for now.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more Enter the Chronicness.
Special shout out to all of our patrons and YouTube members. We appreciate all of your support.
Small human dies just for appearances, wanted to be alone. The small heart stands still for hours. People thought it was dead. It gets buried in wet sand with a music box in its hand. The first snow covers the grave, has gently awakened the child. In a cold winter night, the small heart awoke as the frost flew into the child. It raised the music box, a melody in the wind. From the earth the child sings. A pop rider and no angel descends. My heart doesn't beat anymore. Only rain cries upon the grave. Hop, hop rider, a melody in the wind. My heart doesn't beat anymore. And from the earth the child sings. The cold moon in full splendor hears the cries in the night, and no angel descends. Only rain cries upon the grave. Between hard oak planks the music box gets played, a melody in the wind. From the earth the child sings. Hop, hop rider, no angel descends. My heart doesn't beat anymore. Only rain cries in the grave. Hop, hop rider, a melody in the wind. My heart doesn't beat anymore. From the earth the child sings. Hop, hop rider, my heart doesn't beat anymore. On Sunday of the dead, they hear from God's field this melody, and that's where they lifted it from its bed. Save the child's small heart. Hop, hop rider, a melody in the wind. My heart doesn't beat anymore. And from the earth the child sings. Hop, hop rider, and no angel descends, and my heart doesn't beat anymore. Only rain is upon the grave. Hop, hop rider, a melody in the wind. Yet anymore, and from the earth the child sings. Rough.